Welcome to Doncast Deep Dive.
And specifically, welcome to Doncast Deep Dives, Albums for the Ages. This is episode 8.
We are diving into a series that is, well, it's truly unique. It really journeys through the albums that haven't just been background noise, but pieces of art that have fundamentally shaped and inspired Don Phondeaux.
Yeah, a creative mind we know for, blending music, storytelling, and this really deep cultural expression.
Exactly. And that's why these aren't your typical reviews or like industry critiques.
Not at all. Our mission, and it's all informed by his personal notes, is to treat these albums as, well, as landmarks in his personal narrative.
So it's more about explorations of growth, nostalgia.
And the just enduring, timeless power of music to mark and move us through, every single season of life.
And today we are zeroing in on a huge crossover moment. We're talking about Wizkid's 2017 album, Sounds from the Other Side.
Right, and the objective here is intensely personal. We're unpacking Don Phondeaux's very intimate reflections on how this album captured a specific, electric, and sort of external phase of his life.
And maybe more importantly, what the memory of that energy means for him now.
Exactly. Now, during a time he describes as one of intense creative solitude. It's a real contrast.
So let's start right where he does, with the sound itself. He highlights the immediate, just undeniable transcontinental nature of the album.
It really was a conversation, wasn't it? This wasn't just Afrobeat.
No.
It was this fusion. And what's fascinating is how effortlessly Wizkid achieved it. We're talking about a silky, smooth, global sound.
Right. Weaves everything together. You've got Afrobeat drums with that American R&B smoothness.
A hint of Jamaican reggae rhythm in there, and then this pop sensibility over the top of it all. Don Phondeaux's notes actually call it a watershed moment.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The album that, for him, fundamentally redefined global Afrofusion and really showed the world what was possible.
And the title, Sounds from the Other Side, I mean, that carries so much weight.
It does.
He says the music feels exactly like that title suggests. It's coming from somewhere. Different, seductive, and soulful.
It implies a place of release, doesn't it? A place that, requires a shift in your own perspective just to get into the rhythm.
And that concept of the other side is the perfect entry point into his current mindset. It really explains why he's revisiting it right now.
Totally. He's currently in a period of what he calls solitude, which is both creative and consuming.
So he's focused intensely inward, building his whole ecosystem, his web dev startup, Krusty Slarse.
And the Don's domain, the creative hub, it's a period of necessary isolation. It's heavy on the grind, very strategic.
And that kind of deep focus, it comes at an emotional cost, right?
It has to. So he revisits this album because it carries the exact opposite energy, that external, vibrant energy that wants to find him.
That mix of like easy ambition, open affection.
And accessible artistry, yeah. It's the sound of the world outside that he's currently, blocking out to get work done.
He even gives that external world a name. He calls them the sirens.
The sirens, the people, the energy, the opportunities that knew him back then. He suggests they could testify that this album just captures that feeling perfectly.
Smooth, vibrant, and effortlessly inviting.
Exactly. And he draws this really poignant contrast between then and now. When this album found him, he was just a student.
Young, free, socially porous, as he says, and only responsible for himself.
And he uses this incredibly evocative phrase. He says his smile hadn't yet grown weary.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that detail is just heartbreakingly relatable.
It is. It suggests a time before life's complexities demanded this constant emotional investment that, building an empire does.
So the album is basically a time capsule of emotional ease.
That's precisely it. It became his gateway into a new sound, and it changed how he listened to music entirely. He just needed the right invitation.
And that invitation came from a collaboration. He identifies the track that kicked it all off as Come Closer featuring Drake.
Right. And what's so beautiful about his reflection is his honesty about, the linguistic barrier at first.
He says he didn't catch the words initially.
No, but he instantly caught the feeling. The pure underlying groove taught him the emotional language of the track before the lyrics even had a chance to sink in.
Which is just a testament to how universal that music is.
Totally. And that initial appreciation, which was focused on the rhythm, it really deepened a few months later. That's when it turned into full-on admiration.
Okay. What was the turning point?
He says that's when the track Nobody made its way through his speakers, and the whole tapestry of the album, the production, the tone, the voice, it just clicked into place for him.
And it all connects back to his life at the time.
It really does. Back then, life was loud, social, vibrant. He recalls being almost always outside, living, laughing.
So Wizkid's sound wasn't for, listening alone on headphones.
Not at all. It was the rhythm that set the tone for every vibe. It was the background to conversations, car rides, celebrations, the whole thing.
So if we take that past outward energy and translate it into his life now, what did he discover when he stopped listening for the party and, started listening for the peace?
That is the core tension of this entire deep dive. He notes that in this current, much quieter time, his listening experience has changed. A lot.
Solitude is like a filter.
It is. He's listening differently now. The same songs that once soundtracked those long, loud nights, now they echo with lessons.
Lessons about what? Love, connection.
Love, connection, creativity, all the themes he's wrestling with now in his isolation. He's hearing more emotion in the melodies and, crucially, more intention between the lines.
So what does hearing intention actually mean in a practical sense?
Well, he elaborates. He's listening for the producer's choices now, the subtle harmonic movements, the lyrical context that he totally missed when he was just focused on the groove.
So the music isn't just a beat anymore, it's a narrative.
Exactly. There's a story carried beneath it, and this quiet reflection allows him to pull out this powerful, almost philosophical meaning. He interprets the album's emotional core now as playing like the promises of a dawn in the moment, fleeting but sincere.
That's a fascinating concept. Fleeting but sincere.
It is. It distills the whole experience down to this idea of sincerity within impermanence. Making the absolute most of what the moment offers, whether that's a dance floor encounter or a deep focused coding session. It demands presence.
And the album structure, the music itself, it supports that idea. He describes the songwriting as flawlessly simple but emotionally rich.
It's not trying to be lyrically complex. No gymnastics. It's just straightforward declarations of desire, confidence, and celebration.
And that simplicity, when you combine it with production that he says glides from sensual to celebratory, that's why it's timeless.
That's the key. The tracks aren't cluttered with sounds that scream 2017. They rely on foundational rhythms and clean, open mixes. It gives that emotional richness room to breathe. The choices were intentional enough to resist dating.
Okay, so let's dive into some of the specific tracks he mentioned, because they really highlight that whole spectrum of emotion he's revisiting.
For sure. We should start with the invitation, Sweet Love. It's the album's opening track, and it just perfectly sets the tone.
It's that smooth, explicit ask.
Yes, give me sweet love. It's a simple plea, but when he hears it, it immediately transports him to that warm, welcoming space.
And then he moves pretty quickly into the big collab, African Bad Gale, with Chris Brown.
Right, and this track is less about seduction and more about just open, confident celebration.
He sees it as being focused squarely on praising African beauty.
Exactly. A fusion where, as he puts it, wine, groove, and charm collide. You could feel the heat and harmony. It's the sound of external self-assurance.
Then there's the one he calls an anthem for the sirens, Daddy Yo.
Yes. This is just pure, infectious, high-energy rhythm. In its quiet solitude, this track is like a visceral reminder of the need for movement.
A dance floor provocation.
A perfect dance floor provocation. It demands that you participate in the vibe no matter how isolated you might feel.
His notes also show a real soft spot for All for Love, the one featuring Boosie.
And this is where that transcontinental theme becomes really personal. He notes the blend of Nigerian and South African sensuality.
A sonic bridge between two homes.
It is.
Yeah.
And it ties this deep rhythm to that universal question, what would you do for love? It anchors the whole album in this really sincere, emotional commitment.
And finally, we get to the curtain call, Gabis with Trey Songs.
The perfect ending. He says, it's the necessary final act. Just when you think you might be winding down.
The tempo lifts.
The tempo lifts for one final, undeniable dance. It makes sure the entire journey, the whole celebration ends on this absolute high note of pure, unadulterated release.
So if we synthesize all of these reflections, what are the central themes? What are the big takeaways that Don Phondeaux pulls from this?
Well, the overarching theme is clearly a celebration of connection.
Connection between genres, cultures.
And most importantly, between hearts. It covers everything from love and lust to confidence and calm. The music is fundamentally about proximity.
And he crystallizes the sensory experience so beautifully. He concludes that Wizkid basically curated a soundscape that shows the world what warmth sounds like when you pair it with rhythm.
It's music that intentionally sidesteps intellectual demands. It doesn't ask you to understand it, it only asks you to feel it.
And this is where the past meets the present. giving us the most profound takeaway for you, the listener. Don Pondo's critical insight is that luxury isn't just material.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe, a tone, a peace of mind.
And that's the real lesson for someone like him, building an empire in solitude. The music is just saturated with the sound of effortless cool, of having everything you need emotionally to move smoothly.
So he realizes the music moves differently because it speaks softly and hits deeply.
Yes, it's an auditory blueprint for the kind of internal peace and confidence that he's striving to achieve in his own focused work.
So the lesson is that the vibrant energy of the past isn't something to be thrown away, it's a source of fuel.
100%. That feeling of freedom and effortless movement. That's the true luxury he's building toward. It allows him to step out of the grind with the same self-assuredness he heard in this album.
That energy is a powerful counter-narrative to the consumption of solitude.
It reminds him that the joy and the connection, they're the destination, not the distraction.
So we want to end this deep dive with Don Pondo's own prompt for you, the listener, to maybe mull over in your own life. What song reminds you of the other side? That place where you let go, enjoy, and just trust the vibe.
Something for you to discover the intention and the wisdom that's hidden in your own soundtrack of freedom.
Thank you for joining this Doncast deep dive into albums for the ages. For more stories, playlists, and reflections, visit the Don's domain at donpondo.com. Don't forget to explore compilations from Madonna's series of curated playlists that capture life's moods, phases, and moments in motion. Enjoy loudly. Stay sound.